Tonight, a look at the super server running a Samsung 950 Pro, specifically the thermal characteristics or throttling. So if it gets too hot, this M.2 storage device will slow down a little bit. Not a big deal, but I want you to witness exactly what I'm talking about. In this article, I've got some screenshots from yesterday, and we had a little bit of a dip in performance with the lid off. So right there. Now this is self-imposed, and the performance fell, and if I cranked up the fan, everything was fine. And if I look at this in Antec review, I see something similar, a little dip, much less, obvious than mine. And I was able to fix it by just simply putting the lid on. But if I do multiple runs in a row, performance can still suffer even with the lid on. So let me demonstrate that. And before we kill that, oops. So the speed, or the values we want to set for ATTO Disk Bench. Well, to look at that, I've got an article here. There we go, screenshot. Notice things don't really start happening for speed until we get to the 128 level. So let me just go with 128, right? Why wait around with those small numbers where we're not going to see the speed ever drop off? And that's it. Now, I'm probably going to need to speed up the clock a little, but you will see the speeds start to dip. Notice the fan is at 3,800 RPMs. This is factory default standard speed. Okay, I'm going to run it again right away. Keep it warm. Okay, now it's starting to dip a little bit. There we go. Now it's dipping noticeably. So I'm just going to go to heavy I/O speed, kind of the medium fan setting, and you'll see it recover nicely pretty quickly. So there you have it. So if you're planning to kind of beat the snot out of the server and run an incredible amount of I/O, you might see a slight dip, maybe 20% or something. But that'd be a little bit crazy to be abusing your SSD like that around the clock. Plus, you would actually hit the 400 terabytes written lifespan of the SSD at some point. So at some point, actually wouldn't be that far away. I've been doing a lot of benchmarking here. And if I run Samsung Magician, well, you'll actually see the impact. But notice we're getting a nice positive outcome here with the medium fan speed. So the RPMs went up to 1,600 here. The unit's making more noise, but not as much as full speed. So that's a compromise. But if you're doing some sort of benchmarking or, well, like I said, a long time workload that's hitting that SSD hard, well, maybe you'd want to consider a higher fan speed. But that's really the end of this topic. I'm not trying to make some big controversy or like this is some flaw. And let me drive that point home. When this run finishes and you see that it's happy and healthy at the heavy I/O speed of the fan, the medium speed, I will fire up Samsung Magician, and you'll see by me running, I don't know, probably 50 benchmarks in the last 24 hours or so, getting to know this drive, it's starting to show a little bit of use. So I'll run Samsung Magician, and there it is, 2.72 out of 400 terabytes written for the warranty of the drive or lifetime. So there you have it. It's kind of it for me. I'm done testing fans. I don't need to know more than that. And Antec and Ars Technica and PC Perspective and the SSD review, all sorts of websites have reviewed this drive and already benchmarked it. I've got a few benchmarks under my belt. I've got a handle on what it means for the thermals, and that's it. I'm perfectly happy going with slightly less, slightly less performance under rare circumstances, probably never on a typical workload that I'm using. And it's going to be a virtualization lab for me. Well, yeah, I'll be cloning VMs and so forth, but okay, I'm cloning a 60 gig file for 2 minutes, and then it's idle for hours. So yeah, I'm not worried about this at all. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and for visiting tinkertry.com.